Welcome back, YouTube, and hello again, of course. This will be the second iteration in the Civ tier list based on ages. Of course, the first one is out, it's on Dark Age, and this one is the second one on Feudal Age. So I hope you guys really enjoyed the first one. Obviously, it was a short one and a more niche part of the game, Dark Age, but today we are doing Feudal Age, which is the most, so is one of the most, if not the most important age in Age of Empires 4. And that's just because I mean, most of your games, I think, the majority of your games will be in Feudal Age, and it will set you up for the later stages of the game. Um, yeah, I think if I would have to rank them, it would be Feudal Age is the most important, then Castle Age slightly behind, and Imp, and then Dark Age. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump into this. Should I maybe do it at the same order? We can do it the same order, it's not an issue. Alright, Feudal Age Mongols. This might be a tough tier list, because I think there's a lot of good Feudal Age civs, so I might have to be very strict where I put some of these civs. Anyway, I think Feudal Age Mongols is either A or S. Might have to be an A. I mean, it's very close between A and S, but we're gonna keep it an A for now. And if I feel like it goes to S based on other civs, then we can do that. But it's a very strong A civ, and there's a few reasons why. Trade is obviously a huge deal. Mongols has one of the cheapest trade in the game and most efficient. That just means you don't need to go for a second TC to scale your eco, whereas other civs would, which just means a faster eco, faster feudal age. The second, of course, being Kesheks. Kesheks are obviously a very, very good unit. They're a knight replacement. Maybe not as good as a knight, but obviously only a few civs have knights in feudal, and Mongols is pretty much one of them. So, Kesheks, trade, what else do they have? They have really good food eco in H2. Now, ideally, you don't want to be spamming too many pastures, but getting 1 to 2 pastures, especially just when you hit feudal, is very nice. Or maybe just after you get a stable. It's very nice because that is just usually better than farms, especially long term. It will likely help you get to Castle Age, and it's very safe food eco as well. Granted, you probably are going to go for the deal as well if you don't build too many pastures, especially if you're trading, but it's just better than farms, especially early game. Late game, it starts to get worse, so obviously early game, good feudal. So A tier for Mongols. There's probably a lot of other stuff I can talk about, but given that we have 16 civs, I'm gonna put Mongols in the A tier. Just a good tempo civ, knights, trade, etc. Yeah. All right, China. This is a tough one. I'm thinking B or C. I'm gonna have to land it in the C tier for now. It is definitely not bad in feudal, especially if you want to put like Zuganus, but it's just a bit slow. It's a bit slow, unfortunately, and you really see China's like eco and booming start to catch in like Castle Age, so they might be a bit higher in Castle Age and definitely in Imp Age, but currently in feudal, it takes them a bit to actually get to that very strong point which China is. However, it's definitely not a bad feudal civ. The fact that you have tax and Zuganus and supervision, definitely you definitely can't put China in the D tier here. Yeah, it's just these bonuses take a while to kick in. Um, as well as maybe the upgrade, like, forget what it's called, Imperial Academy, the plus 80 gold one. Just takes a bit to get your eco fully going with China, such as, obviously, with the song buff. Alright, let's go to Abbasid now. Another boom civ, probably, obviously not going to be the best feudal. it's tough. Do I want to put Abbasid in D tier or C tier? The thing is, to have a bad feudal, you need to, like, it's extremely bad for a civ to have a bad feudal. It means they're probably one of the worst civs in the game, because feudal is so important, of course, and I'm just not sure that Abbasid is a D tier civ in general. I mean, they do have a good Castle Age, so ideally you could put them in A tier in Castle Age, and I mean, maybe D tier in Feudal Age. Yeah, I'm probably gonna put them in D tier in Feudal Age. Like, they just don't have as much as even China. Like, they have their Golden Age, but I think if you were to stick in Feudal Age as Abbasid versus China, you would end up losing, and that's just the reality of Abbasid. It's mostly a Castle Imp Age civ, and it's better than China in Castle Age and Imp Age. Definitely Castle Age. I'm not sure about Imp Age, but it's just it struggles to get there. It doesn't have those Zugnus. It doesn't have the tax that gives you gold, and it kind of traps you in Feudal Age as well. Whereas China can quick age, Abbasid has to slow age to the next stage. So I think Abbasid is probably a D tier civ in Feudal Age. They're just a bit too slow. Probably the slowest civ in the game actually in Feudal Age, maybe with Byzantines or something. Alright, English in Feudal Age. This is an interesting one because English actually has a fair amount of price styles you can do. That being, of course, the Rush style, the second TC style, the Fast Castle style. And these are feudal price styles for the most part, except for the Fast Castle, but I'm just debating if English is a B tier or an A tier 7 feudal. It's gotta be B tier though, I think. If they were A in feudal, we'd probably see English a lot more. They have too many weaknesses, I think, to be A tier in feudal. They do have a strong rush, and they do have like they have decent second TC, but it's not A tier. It's probably a B tier. The thing about English is that it's very, very strong against some civs, like these boomy civs, China Abbasid. But once you get into these A tier civs that have a bit more tempo, they're a bit faster in feudal, you're probably going to start seeing English being on the weaker side. So, sorry, that's Discord. Hopefully you guys can't hear that too badly. But that is English. I think this is a pretty safe pick. They're just not fast enough tempo-wise to be higher than that. They do have good offense, but that's generally against the slower civs in Feudal Age. Alright, French. I'm gonna have to put French in the A tier. Maybe on the weaker side in the A tier, but they're definitely better than English in Feudal Age, and they have better longevity because of their faster TC production. So you want to be sticking the Feudal Age as French. Definitely a lot more than you would these other civs, and you generally don't mind to do that as French. You want to be aggressive, you want to stick in Feudal Age. That's kind of like the French thing, right? Castle Age is not terrible for French, but it's not their strong point. Feudal is really the French strong point. I'm actually debating to go above Mongols here. Probably not, I think, because Mongols has slightly faster Feudal Age. It takes a bit for French to like really ramp up their knight production and get safe gold and safe food, but once they do that, they start to become extremely strong. Alright, moving on to Achery. Achery, I think Achery has to be a B-tier civ in Feudal. You guys might be surprised by that by a bit, because Achery I think is generally considered a bit weaker in Feudal than some other civs, but they do have inspiration, they do have Ark and Chapel. I mean, their Castle Age is decently strong, but I wouldn't consider it, like, better than China, better than Abbasid. obviously we're talking about Feudal Age here, but I'm just thinking in terms of comparing it to these other civs in C and D tier. I think H3 is a bit stronger than them in Feudal Age. Like the relics are nice going into Castle Age, but you really don't have to play exclusively for relics as H3. You can set up that big farm eco, and you can even be aggressive with Mind Walk if you want to. Not a very popular style, but because they have such good eco in Feudal Age, you can do that. We'll have to see the other civs that come in B tier, but I think H3 is a B tier civ. Like, I'm thinking in terms of versus English, H3 is quite strong versus English because they have decent tempo, whereas these kind of civs don't have tempo. So I think to put H3 in a C tier is would be a bit too slow for H3 because they're a bit faster than the other ones. I think Delhi is the first S tier 7 feudal. I mean, Delhi is pretty much this feudal civ, and that's pretty much the only thing that's going for Delhi at the moment. They're a feudal juggernaut. They have free techs, they have better archers, they have free gold in Feudal Age. They obviously have the berry buff as well that makes them have more food in Feudal Age. So it just all of that combined makes Delhi extremely good in Feudal Age. They have military, not academy. Putting scholars in your production makes your production go fast. Obviously, I forget what it's called. But yeah, Delhi is a Feudal Age civ, and this is where Delhi strides. Anyway, like you will go Castle Age with Delhi at points, but that's just because you can't get any more damage done in Feudal. Like you generally don't want to. Maybe you have the Sacred Site gold as well. That's probably why you're going Castle Age. But Feudal Age is their strength, and maybe like beginning of Castle Age is strong as well, but it's definitely not like where you want to be highlighting your players Delhi. Alright, Rus now. Okay, Rus is a difficult one because they're definitely not weak in Feudal. Like Rus is not weak at any point in the game. I'm just hesitating to give them an S tier. I mean, it's very, very close between an S and an A. I mean, the thing is, it's like I don't like mind playing Rus against Delhi in Feudal either, because you have such strong defensive capability with the Crown Run. But like I think about Rus versus French, and that's not like a bad Rus matchup, but actually, yeah, let's just put them in S, because I think against all these A and S tier civs, maybe French is kind of equal. Rus kind of does well against. Like, they just have too much, right? They have Kremlin, they have second ecos, potential booming playstyle. They have knights, they have increased wood, they have increased food, they have bounty. I mean, there's just too much, I think, for Rus to put them in A tier. Like, you just have so much flexibility as Rus that like you're not rushing to go Casa. You go for that TC style boom. Um, you can rush Casa, you can play Feudal. Like you can really do whatever you want, and that's because they're strong at every single point in the game, pretty much. At least that's how I find Rus. Like there's nothing too special about them. They're just good, right? They just have that stuff. Um, yeah. Malians. Malians is in very, very good feudal civ. Thinking middle of the pack in A here. like, if you compare Malians against French and Feudal, Malians is gonna win. Maybe not against Mongols, but, like, Malians has the cattle. They don't need to invest in that second TC. Like I said about Mongols, they have a faster tempo in Feudal because they don't need that second TC. Whereas French and Rus have a little bit of slow tempo. Doesn't make them better just because of that, but it makes them faster. So you have more potential to do stuff in the early game of Feudal. And Maui generally goes for the Castle Age, but you can do other stuff as well. Especially if your opponent is Delhi, for instance, you can defend in Feudal Age and try to stop the sacred sites. Yeah, I mean, they obviously have Java and Donzos. These are just very, very strong units. They have Gold Trickle, they have Food Trickle with the cows. Like, they're not going to run out of food either because you can infinitely build cows to feed your food eco. They're just very, very solid. Very solid. Alright, Ottomans. Ottomans is another tricky one because you could potentially put them in S tier. Actually, yeah, I think that is what I'm going to do with Ottomans. I'm going to put them in S tier. Again, the Civ just has too much. Like, they have visor points for the sheep, they have visor points for the imams, like, you can just do so much with the Civ that you're not very weak against any Civ. Like, against Mongols, you can play very aggressive, you can go for the meta, you can go for that imams if you want to play aggressive like that. You can stop their trade, etc. You can play defensive or aggressive against French. You can go for the 8 Jans in Feudal and go for an all-in. You can play double TC style. You can play extended Feudal into Castle Age, maybe. Like, you have stronger archers with the meta. You have military schools that saves you food throughout Feudal Age, as well as the Madrasa. So there's just a lot going for Ottomans that just means they can stick in Feudal, that they have good units in Feudal. They have a lot of flexibility as well, like I mentioned with the visor points. So definitely an S tier Civ. I think better than Mongols. Like, you kind of compare these two Civs because they're kind of similar, I think. Mongols and Ottomans. And Ottomans is probably gonna win against Mongols just because they have better archers, military schools, so they just have more. Alright, Aoebids. So I'm kind of thinking of the last video. People were discussing whether like a Civ that can kind of skip a certain age is good in that age because they are not vulnerable in that age. I'm kind of thinking of Aoebids with this. Like, they're not technically good in Feudal. They don't really have too many bonuses in Feudal Age, but you can kind of skip Feudal Age with Aoebids, with the Culture Wing advancement. So they have less vulnerability in Feudal because of that. However, I'm just gonna go with a C tier. Just to be consistent, given that I don't think Aoebids is a good long-term Feudal Civ. They do have tempo, but that's about it. So that's probably why I'm putting them ahead of Abbasids, because they have that early game tempo, maybe with reinforcements, or with that 3 early villagers, but beyond that, they don't have much in Feudal Age. They really want to be getting Castle Age as Aoebids. Alright, Byzantines. I think I'm gonna have to put Byzantines in D tier. Probably gonna join Abbasid in D tier here. Like, I'm putting them ahead maybe because of the longbow mass, but that's about it. Like, you're not. Maybe I could put them behind. They're extremely close. They're just not really Feudal Age civs. like I don't consider Byzantine a feudal age civ at all, even with the mercenaries. Like the mercenary trickle is just too slow in the feudal age to really consider them a feudal age civ. To start getting a massive feudal, start getting a massive merces, you really need Golden Horn, as well as like a lot of farms, because you're really not going to be on berries, on too many berries, especially during feudal age. You just can't really expand your economy that wide because you're such a slow and defensive civ, unfortunately. I think it would be cool if you could gather more berries throughout the map as Byzantine, but you're just not fast enough to do that. You don't have enough army, and you won't be able to defend your villagers. So you really need to start farming. You need to go second TC. You need to put a very condensed eco, unfortunately, which just makes them bad in feudal age and slow. All right, Japan. Japan's an interesting civ because, um, obviously their eco is a bit slow with the TC upgrades for food. This is a tough one, actually. Putting Japan, ranking Japan here. I think I gotta go with C tier here. Like I don't favor Japan in feudal age versus almost any of these BAS civs. Like they're not bad, but they don't have much, right? Like they have some nice tempo with the mining camps acting as a blacksmith. They have the farm landmark, which is really good. They own a Bigushu, but other than that, not much. I don't think I can realistically put Japan above this. Yeah, I'm thinking of what to discuss about Japan, but they just a bit slow. Like they just don't have bonuses, whereas other civs would, right? Like to get that food eco really going, you need upgrades on the TC, which are quite expensive. Whereas with HRE, you need nothing. You have that Aachen, you have that Proet, and a lot of these other bonuses with these other civs, you just don't need to invest into your eco like Japan does. So C tier for me on that civ. Jeane Darc. Actually, I think they're an S civ. I think Jeane Darc is an S civ in feudal. I guess that's not really shocking, but they're one of the best long-term civs to stay in feudal, obviously, just because you're getting XP while being in feudal, and that's just like an insane buff as long as you don't lose John, because once you're in feudal with level tier Jean, you just win the game pretty much. Takes some skill not to lose her, but you can do that. She's kind of S tier. Just thinking of where to put her here. I don't know if I can put her above Ottomans. Roofs of Delhi. Actually, not sure I would put Delhi at the top. I think that's pretty fair to Jean. She's not bad in Calso and Page either, so it's not like I put Jean at S tier and she's just shit at all other ages. She's pretty consistent throughout the ages. She's just, I think, best in feudal age. Alright. Zhu Xi's Legacy. Obviously one of the best civs in the game. Has good everything throughout the most part. And if you compare Zhu Xi to its main civ, I guess, if you want to call it, China, you can start to see why Zhu Xi is going to be way better in feudal age than China is. They have a cheaper. They have. What's the first dynasty? Okay, anyway, they get cheaper landmarks from their first dynasty, so already faster. You're getting Song way faster. You get cheaper TCs. Obviously, you're not going to produce villages like China will from Song, but you just build 3 TCs and you're producing them just as fast. Um, and you can pretty much do that at 7 minutes, just like China would. So you pretty much have the same build production from Song, and then you just have the bonus of Song on top of that as Zhu Xi, which just makes your granaries cheaper, your towers cheaper, everything cheaper. Which just means getting that granary eco is just so quick and easy. So it's just too much, I think, and it's a little overtuned. So Zhu Xi having all of that is crazy. And obviously the meditation gardens is like busted. Like meditation gardens is busted. It's just like by the far the best landmark in the game, I think. Like people don't understand how broken it is, but like consider the Maui landmark. This you get 75 gold from the Maui landmark. I forget what it's called. Anyway, you get 75 gold from the Feudal Age Maui landmark. In Meditation Gardens, like bare minimum is going to get 75 res, and at high points it can get 150. It can get more than that. And this is like not gold, which is probably the weakest resource in beginning of Feudal. It's food, it's wood, it's stone. It's like very valuable resources that you could be getting with this civ. Yeah, as well as the other landmark is not bad either. Getting 3 units is nothing to scoff at. It's just really, really strong. Alright, Older Dragon. This is a tough one because I actually don't think Older Dragon's Feudal is that weak, but it's definitely not strong. I put Older Dragon at a decent rank in Dark Age as well, and I think that's probably accurate. Like, as the game goes on longer, I think Older Dragon gets a lot weaker. I don't think I can put them at a B tier here. Well, maybe I could. Is it? Well, maybe it is stronger than these civs purely in Feudal Age. These civs kind of would probably get very fast Castle Age versus Older Dragon, but if they stayed in Feudal Age, they actually might struggle a bit. Yeah, let's go a bit wild and put Older Dragon in roll tier B tier here. I do think they have a lot of potential in Feudal Age, but again, how I'm gonna play against Older Dragon is I'm probably just gonna 2TC Fast Castle. And then I'm just gonna skip the Feudal Age against Older Dragon and go straight to Castle Age. And you might be thinking, oh, Older Dragon has a decent Castle Age because of Ragnitz. Well, it's tough to even get the relics as Older Dragon, unless you go 1TC. You don't have immediate prelates stationed to add relics, like Aoe4 would. So it's definitely not as fast as Aoe4. But they do have very strong horsemen, they do have very strong men-at-arms, and that's probably why I'm going to put them at B tier here. Yeah, anyway, guys, if you disagree with any of the rankings, please feel free to share with me and let me know why. Obviously, this is just for fun, but I think this represents a pretty good basis of each civ's strength in Feudal Age. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'm looking forward to the Castle Age one as well. Anyway, guys, take care.